Hello everyone, it's Tom from 10G Digital here, and I welcome you to another video providing the latest tricks, tips, workarounds and features within Squarespace. And today we're going to be looking at list sections. Now, list sections are a fantastic way to keep content organized, and they really come into their own when you're listing things such as your services, your team members, testimonials, or even images as a gallery. One of the biggest benefits is that the list section is completely responsive, so you don't have to worry about editing the mobile view. List sections allow you to switch layouts effortlessly without having to keep moving the individual blocks around. They are, however, a bit different to the standard Squarespace sections, especially when it comes to editing, and this can be confusing for beginners. So, in this video, I'm going to do a deep dive into how we use the list sections and explore what options there are available. Let's get into it. Firstly, we need to know how to add a list section into your web page. Whilst in the back end of Squarespace, we can click on Edit to access edit mode. And we'll scroll down and we want to add a section in here. So we make sure we hovered over an existing section, click Add Section, and we'll be provided with Squarespace's default sections. Now, for the most part, you can see that they're all pretty similar. However, if we go to something like the people options, you can see that most of these have an eye in the top right-hand corner. This means that they are list sections. So we're going to take this example and add this into our web page. And we're going to start exploring what options we've got available. Now, right away, we can tell it's a different section because we can't click on individual text blocks or the image blocks, or even the title to update. I'm typing here and nothing's happening, like it's completely locked down. The other way you can tell it's a list section is that the options are different when you hover over the section. So this one we've got above, you can see we can edit section and view layouts. Yet in our list section, we've got this option to edit content. And if you click on that, these are the options that will allow us to make changes to this section. So first of all, we're greeted with a bunch of toggle options, split between the overall section and the individual items. So for the section, we've only got two options, which is the title. So if I turn that off, you can see that that's this Meet the Team here. And there's also an option for a button. Now this gets added at the bottom. Having a button at the bottom here is a good idea if you're displaying your portfolio and you've got a brief summary of all of your projects and you want this button just to take the user through to your full portfolio. Okay, and then we've got the options for the individual items. So we can remove the images completely. That might be useful if you are doing a testimonial, but you haven't got images. You can also remove the title. So that's the names that they're using in this case. The body. And then each individual item can have its own button. This is useful in this scenario where if you've got a page for each individual team member, then you can just connect up the button to that team member. Okay, so when we click on content, you can see here we've got, again, the split between the section and the items. We've got the option to update the content for the title here. And that is just this bit over here. And you can decide whether you want that left or right aligned. We'll keep that in the middle. There's no individual save here, so you just click on back and any changes you've made will be stored. And then we've got the button, which is right at the bottom. Again, you can change the text here, decide where it goes, pick the style of button. They're all the same in this case. And again, you can have that left, right, or middle aligned. And to add a link, you can choose any of your internal pages. You can link externally. One thing to note is that if the title is switched off in here, for example, it won't show up here. In the content section, you'll only see areas that can be updated due to your selections. We want that back on. And then what you also see in the content is the options for each individual item. So our first one here is always in order, so we're looking at Monet. And if we left click, we get a few more options here. We can upload a file to replace the image. We can select it from the library of images you've already got, or select a stock photo. Or you can remove the image completely by clicking the recycling bin. You can add alternative text here, which is good for SEO. And then you can start updating the content that we've got here on screen. If we wanted to call her Monet Gooder, we can. And then the description is the body text underneath here. Again, it's just nice and easy to update. And we've got the button text here. As you can see, just extended that and that works. And again, we can attach a link anywhere to internal pages, external pages, products, anything you like. And as with before, there's no particular save on this screen. So you just click on back and that content is now stored. Then you can move on to the next one, which would be Emmet. If you decide that you need more, you click on the add button here, which adds a new list item. And then another left click into here. And then you can add your image and just run through the same options that we had for Monet. And if you wanted to delete an item, that's pretty obvious. We hit the recycle bin. And finally, you can reorder how they appear. You just select the 6 dots on the left-hand side and drag and drop to where you like them. So that's the content section. Let's move on to design. When Squarespace released version 7.1, they actually removed the option for galleries for non-Squarespace Circle members. Galleries are now meant to be put together by creating list sections and then using the banner slideshow or the carousel. Now in this video, I'm only going to focus on the simple list. I'll probably do another video in the future about galleries, but I'll just show you quickly what can be achieved. So you can see it already starts looking like a gallery once we've selected banner, slideshow, carousel. In that case, if you wanted a gallery, you turn everything off except for the image. We make that a banner slideshow. You can see we've essentially got a slideshow here using a list item. But that's not what we want to do. We want a simple list. So back to familiar territory. And to carry on through what options we have available in the simple list item, we've got left and right aligned. You can choose to have the content first, followed by the image. Max columns is quite useful, so we can have them all in one line if you wish. Sometimes it requires a bit of maths to get them lined up. Only basic level. And you can also play around the crop. So in this example, perhaps I don't like the circle. We can change the aspect ratio of the image here. And then if we look into style, this allows us to change the size of the text. Medium looks good. And this is my favorite option within list items, is the card, which gives it a really nice look and really emphasizes the content we've got here. And again, by selecting and turning this on, we get options to play around with the padding. I'm just going to set that to small. And the final option we've got is size and space. So if we click on that, that just gives us some options to play around with the alignment. And that's pretty much all there is to a list item. It's just getting in the mindset of knowing that it's a different section to a standard Squarespace section. Now, there are particular scenarios where this might not be useful. For example, if you are trying to list your products here, there's definitely better ways to do it. It's the same with blog posts. If you're wanting to summarize your blog posts or commerce products, there's a summary block as part of the standard Squarespace section, which is much better suited for that task. You also can't add any additional blocks. So if we wanted to have a video to introduce the team, you can't add that in. You'll have to add a new section, perhaps remove that from here, put that into a new section with the video so it looks like it's one section. You also can't duplicate these here, even though 9 times out of 10, your list items here will be unique. I had a customer who had some services he wanted to show, but they were coming soon. So they were just going to be a row of coming soons. And it would have been nice to duplicate them, but that option's not there. You also can't move the blocks around much. So beyond the settings I've shown you for the spacing and the sizing, you can't do much else without investing in plugins or searching the net for CSS code. But overall, that's a deep dive into list items. If you want more tips, tricks, hacks, and first looks, new features in Squarespace, please hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel. And if you're ready to start a new business with a Squarespace website or redesign your current site, head over to 10gdigital.co.uk to start your journey.